what you pray for. Every night and every day for. You give it all, then you give more. That's good for footy.
Good evening, everyone. How are you? Hey, welcome along. How much you hanging out for footy? Bring it on back. I say, what is it, like 35 days or thereabouts? Round one kicks off, something like that. Oh, take a deep breath. All right. Yeah, looking forward to it. We got two champions here from the Melbourne Football Club. One of them, you got to welcome him. All right. You really got to put your hands together. What I noticed tonight is that these shows actually bring all the footy fans together, and you sit here and you can communicate, talk about the footy that's going to come up and other things. So my point being from all of that, it's so nice to see you all here to welcome these two to the show tonight, all right? So make sure you do when they come out. This is the only live and interactive footy panel show going in Australia. This is where the fans meet the players and the players meet the fans. There's some pretty serious footy panel shows out there. This ain't one of them. Make sure you know that. Let's get into it though. Our first panellist, he was born on the 30th of November 1991. He's played a total of 99 games, coming up for his 100th. Yeah, he's kicked 51 goals, a couple of points in there. He made his AFL debut back in 2011 when he plays for the Melbourne Football Club. He wears the number 11 on his back. Please welcome to the stage, MYGNR.
It's a grand old flag, it's a high-flying flag. It's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of the team we love, the team of the red and the blue. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue, and we sing this song to you. Should all acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the red and the blue.
Wow, what a welcome, hey, MYGNR. I normally wouldn't let that go all the way through because you're going to hear it again shortly, but why interrupt a good thing, mate? When it's that good, just let it go.
Does everyone know the second verse?
You will by the end of this
get
year.
into it.
Yeah. Now, please put your hands together when this guy comes out. Make him just feel as welcome as you can into the Melbourne family. He's our second panellist. He was born on the 10th of January 1992. He's played a total of 123 games, known with Melbourne, and he's kicked 21 goals. He made his AFL debut back in 2011 when he plays for the Melbourne Football Club. He wears the number on his back. Please welcome to the stage, Stephen May.
It's a grand old flag, it's a high-flying flag. It's the emblem for me and for
Hi,
you.
Stephen.
It's the emblem of the team we love, the team of the red and the blue. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue, and we sing this song to you. Should all acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the red and the blue.
Well done, Demons fans. That was fantastic. How's that make you feel, mate?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, and it's good to learn the words because I haven't learned them yet. So, cheers for that. I should play it a bit more on the way home, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, that's all right. Hopefully you'll hear it a lot this year. That's what we're really aiming for. Nice to have you on the show, mate. First time doing any footy panel show, I suppose, in Melbourne, apart from, the big ones. But this is going to be a little bit of fun. So welcome to the show. We'll get you into it, nice and calm and relaxed, and we'll see where we go to from there. Max, how's everything with you, mate? How's the pre-season been leading up? Congratulations, I should say, first of all, on your engagement. Very nice, mate. Can we allude to how that took place?
Yeah, recently engaged. Started bossing me around already, which is good. I took her over to New Zealand in the Christmas break. And I had 4 days in Queenstown, and I wanted to do it in Queenstown at some point. I didn't know how or when or why.
Why? Maybe you knew why, just how or when, yeah.
And I got it done in the first hour I was in Queenstown. We couldn't check into the hotel, so we walked up Queenstown Hill. About an hour in, she wanted to turn around and walk back. It was a pretty steep climb, but I said, I think you want to get to the top. There's a pretty big rock up there waiting for her. And no, she decided to keep walking up, and an hour and a half done, and we got up the top, and there was no one around, got on one knee.
Fantastic.
Job done.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that's basically taken all my time and my wallet. So
Yeah, right.
Planning on a wedding at the end of the year.
Okay, well, congratulations once again, mate. It's fabulous that that's taken place in the off-season, and now you can get ready for football again.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how are you settling in, Stephen? How's everything going for you?
Yeah, it's going pretty well. I mean, it does feel like you're going to a new school and all that, but it's also like a new city.
Yeah.
So I moved into Richmond, so I was pretty close to training, and it can still take me half an hour or 5 minutes. So they're just a little bit of the
Welcome
growing
to
pains.
Melbourne.
I haven't been late yet. Touch wood. It's been good. The guys have been pretty good. I mean, Gorney just started speaking to me about this show. I just said yes because I just wanted to hang out with him for a bit.
And all these lovely people, of course.
Yeah. Get to meet some of the D's fans. But it has been great. The coaching staff and the playing group made me feel very welcome, as well as Cade College-Aston, who came down. So, we're loving it.
Yeah, good on you, mate. And the question that everybody wants to know, have you been round to Duxie's place yet?
Nah, Duxie hasn't invited me around yet. He came to my first presser, so there was one person there. Thanks, Duxie.
That's Duxie. You can always rely on Duxie. He's good for that. Well done. All right, what we want to do, we wanted the fans just to meet you a little bit more. You can relax for this little first segment. I'm not going to put you under any pressure, mate, because we don't do that here, but we're going to find out a little bit about you. We do it in a segment we call What About You? What about me? So you can feel at ease, Max, but if you want to chime in with anything, feel free to do so. Stephen, do you come from a big or a small family, mate?
Big family.
Okay.
I'm the oldest of 8 children.
8 children?
Yeah.
Wow. Where do you fit in that scheme of things?
I'm the oldest of
The
8
oldest,
children.
the oldest.
So oldest means
Do you know what? You know what I meant to say? It's like brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters.
I've got 4 brothers and how many sisters?
Yeah, 3. All right. My questions aren't good. Your maths is shit. Yeah. All right. Okay. Here we go. How many siblings do you have? We've done that. Yeah. Who did you barrack for growing up?
The Bombers.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll quickly move along. Just a family barrack for whoever you play for, now that you've switched clubs, obviously, or another team?
Who's that, sorry?
Just your family, your siblings and so forth.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of younger brothers, and so I bought them Melbourne Demons jerseys for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
So we went up there for Christmas. I'm from Darwin originally, and they're just confused, because they've only ever known Gold Coast Suns colours, and so it's slowly. So I think when they come down for the first time to the G at a game, they're going to be pretty amazed by one. When they come to Metricon, they thought it was a coliseum, like it was amazing.
Wow!
Oh
my God!
Yeah, you can only imagine how they're going to feel at the G. So, but no, they're well and truly on board. I think they know the D song already, and I don't. So I'm going to have to catch up there.
Excellent.
And they'll get to see a win as well, which is.
You notice I left that one to Max. That was well. I said chime in at any time, and you have. That's perfect. How old were you when you first started playing football?
I think I was about 4 or 5. My mum just dropped me off at the Auskick clinic so she could have a bit of me time, I think.
Yeah.
And then I loved it, and then she just kept taking me there. So it worked out well. Yeah.
Obviously, she either enjoyed what she was doing, or she thought you were enjoying what you were. Yeah. Okay. All right. What do you do to relax and unwind, mate?
I've been playing golf for about just over a year now, and I can play by myself. I can play with others. I just find it very therapeutic, and
good.
It also keeps my back nice and limber. So I've been loving that, and it's a bit of my passion at the moment. So,
nice, excellent. All right. Do you have any movie, TV show, or something you've been to the pictures to see? Recommendations of anything that you've been watching lately? Maybe Netflix or Stan?
It's gone a bit quiet at the moment. I don't know what you guys think. Netflix has died off a bit, but I love watching The Office. The US and the UK versions. It's pretty funny, but there's Green Book's out at the cinemas at the moment, and that's an unreal film. So I suggest you guys go see that.
Good, excellent, like it. As long as you're not watching Married at First Sight, we're happy with all of that.
Gorney's all over Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
I've got it on record. This is obviously a real poor time for a footy show.
Yeah,
7:30 till 9.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. You've been handed a first-class ticket to travel anywhere in the world. Where are you going?
I'll probably go. I love my American sport, so I'll just sort of, put together a bunch of games and follow some schedules all through the US. So
perfect.
Particularly through the South, the college football, and then go up the East Coast and then back across. So I love that sort of stuff.
Your football, your basketball?
Yeah, football.
Who do you follow?
Chicago Bears.
Perfect. All right, there you go. Watch the Super Bowl?
Yep.
Yeah, and how's Tom Brady? 6. I mean, what an amazing achievement.
Yeah, he's
All-time legend.
unbelievable. The boys, so Maxie and that all came, and we were up in Maroochydore watching the Super Bowl.
Yep.
It was Goody, great coach. Really, he hasn't coached me through one game, but the minute I saw the schedule and he changed training so we could watch the Super Bowl, I was just like, this guy's... How good's this guy? So then it was a coaching masterpiece. It was very low scoring. But then you had guys like Max Gorn sitting in there going, this is shit. Like, is anyone going to score? I could have caught that. If you don't understand the game, it could be boring. But it was
Good.
great.
Excellent. Thanks, mate. Who's your favourite musician or band on the planet? Do you have one?
Probably Drake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty popular.
Yeah.
What is your favourite movie of all time? How many times have you seen it?
That's easy. Shawshank Redemption. Yeah. And I don't know, I watch it a lot, especially on long flights to the US because it takes up a few hours and you can just watch it twice and you're nearly there. So.
And if you've seen it a few times, you can fall asleep, wake back up and bang, you're going.
Perfect.
Yeah, all right. A couple of last ones here. Is there anything that really annoys you at the moment that you want to share with us?
Probably Christian Petracca at the moment. If we're being honest, and probably the other one is preseason.
Okay.
I'm not a great preseason athlete,
right.
but and coming to a new club, you just want to play. So I just want. This has been the longest preseason ever.
I hear you. Good answer on the first one though. Trax does that to everybody, I think, at Melbourne. Where has been your best ever holiday?
Best ever holiday, probably Mexico.
Okay.
Went there with a few of my old son's teammates, and it was good.
That's one of those quickly, Damo, move on. Yeah, I like it. And the last one, mate, family and friends have flown in from interstate. You've obviously got 7 siblings in this instance. What are you going to do if they come down to Melbourne? What are you going to do to entertain them?
Hopefully put on a show at the G, but apart from that...
There's a nice wine bar in Camberwell.
Yeah, I've heard
that's opening.
What's it called again?
East End.
No, the one next door.
No, don't go there.
Not going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, we do these shows so as you can get to meet the players. Please put your hands together for Stephen May. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Stephen. We're going to talk a little bit of football. You guys can just give me a little bit of insight. Obviously, there's nothing going on, so we're just going to talk about trades, drafts, and the pickup and go from there. What Champion Data have put out is they've actually, I read this the other day and I thought, Jesus, that's a pretty interesting stat. Off the back of last season with the addition of you now, Stephen, in the trade period, Champion Data have ranked the Demons the best team in the AFL. Do you take any kudos from that? What do you think of that as a statement?
I don't know when, Champion Data probably haven't done too much in terms of winning premierships and whatnot. I don't think anyone tipped the Doggies, and I doubt many people tipped Richmond, and no one tipped West Coast. So I don't think Champion Data has too much behind who actually wins the premiership.
No.
You can win stats columns, and I'm fine with that, but I think most people would just want to have the premiership rather than any sort of stat.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting because I will go on just to finish it. According to Champion Data, again, the Demons have the league's 2nd best back line, 5th best forward line, and number 1 midfield. So those kind of stats are good to hear, though.
Oh well, the number 1 midfield's it's a given.
Which can I say just before you finish that? Melbourne ranked 1st for hit-outs.
Yep.
2nd for clearances and tackles last season with Clayton Oliver leading the way in the midfield by being ranked the 3rd best midfielder in the game.
Well, they did lose Cam Pedersen.
Yeah, we lost Pedo, unfortunately.
He's the best ruckman.
The ruck stocks have gone down.
He's fitting right in, isn't he? Yeah, good.
No, look, obviously they're great things to put next to the a couple of the line groups there. The forwards is a bit disappointing. Number 5, was it? Maybe you might have to head forward for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
But Clayton Oliver, Angus Brayshaw, James Harms and Jack Viney as those 4 midfielders. It's incredible to be involved with those 4. Unfortunately, it's pushed Nathan out to the wing, and we've got a couple of other nice little wingers with the Gold Coast fella in Cade and Vanders and Billy Stretch. It's a handy little midfield to have. So
How exciting is it when you hear all those names being read out?
And it's actually the first time Steve's been under 100 kilos for a while, and he wants a little run in the midfield. So you'll get your way in there at some point.
I can see myself playing a Jared Ruffhead type role, so
Yeah.
centre bounce and then just go forward.
Yeah, we could do that.
That's it.
Beautiful.
That'll
I
help
like
both
it.
the forward line and the midfield.
Yep, nice. All right. Let's talk about your re-signings. You've got Jade Kennedy Harris, signed to 2019, Josh Wagner 2019, Oscar McDonald 2020, Bailey Fritz 2020, James Harms 2020, Mitch Harmon 2020, Christian Petrarca 2020, spewing about that one, no? Charlie Spargo, no, I love Christian Petrarca. Charlie Spargo 2020, Harrison Petty 2020, Neville Jetta 2021, Aaron Vanderberg 2021, Clayton Oliver 2021, Tom McDonald 2022, Angus Brayshaw 2022. There's some great signings there for the Melbourne Football Club.
Some long contracts. Aaron Vanderberg's the one that we were probably scared about at the end of trade period. He was... It ended up being pretty smart of him. He was pretending Sydney was interested, and he actually did it quite well. Got himself a 3-year deal, and he's played 6 games in 4 years. But it's good from Vanders. No, but it's good, and I mean, you're going to get success the more the teams stay around together, and you see the great teams like Hawthorn and Geelong were able to keep their team together for as long as possible, and to get big fish like Steve, some of the guys have to take some pay cuts, and I wasn't one, which is good, but a few of the guys are probably taking less than what they could get on the street as well. So guys like Tom McDonald and Angus Brayshaw will probably getting offered a fair bit of money to go elsewhere, but to get some guys staying with the red and the blue, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. I'll talk about the inclusions. Cade Kolajasny from the Gold Coast, obviously. Stephen May from the Gold Coast. Braden Pruce from North Melbourne. How's Braden going, being that he's going to be your...
He's 176 kilos. He's bloody...
Wow.
So he should be, but he is throwing me to the ground in training, and it's exciting to have that sort of player at training. Our last sort of 4 or 5 young ruckmen have been beanpoles, and that's the best way to describe them, but it's good to get someone with a bit more weight in there, and there's a chance. I mean, the 2 grand final teams both played 2 rucks, and teams in the past, Hawthorn, have always had a double ruck. So it's a chance that it might happen, and you'll probably see throughout the JLT playing the double ruck. But if it happens round 1, who knows? Paddy Ryder and Scott Lysette both play at Port, and they probably both will play round 1. So there's a chance that that'll be a perfect matchup. But I think Sam Wiedemann and Tom McDonald and Maisie even will go on the ruck at some times. And
I put that in the contract.
That was going to be a no-show. Yeah.
But obviously exciting with the other 2, with Kolajasny and Steve, to come from Gold Coast, and both of them choosing our club, which is another big thing. Ever since Bernie Vince sort of chose Melbourne from nowhere, we've had a few people that have chosen Melbourne, and we were not a destination club for a long time. So to have some guys that, and you had obviously your lucrative $2 million Collingwood deal that you turned down, and was able to choose D's, which is exciting, and hopefully we can get some more along the way.
On that too, which is good for you guys to know, is I'd spoken to a few clubs, and Melbourne was the last club, and I actually told my manager I don't want to do the Melbourne one. I'm set on one of the other clubs, and he insisted. He said just take the meeting. You know, in the worst case scenario, you don't choose Melbourne and you go elsewhere. And I said, I'm down here in Melbourne for the week. I'll go along. And lucky I did, because I walked out of that. It was a completely different meeting to all the other clubs. Gorney and Jonesy and Jakey Lever were there at Goody's house. And when I walked out, I was just like, I got in the car and I was just like, no, we're going here. We've got to get it done. And so for me to be the night before going, cancel that. I'm happy with these other clubs. I don't want to go to another sit down for another slideshow and all this stuff. I was, and that was just such a different left field meeting. It was more about relationships and just having a genuine conversation.
Fantastic.
And then I thanked my manager. I'm like, no, thanks for forcing me to come, because I had no interest, because I'd never spoken to Melbourne before.
Jeez.
And then turns out that was the club I wanted to get to, and thankfully we were able to get the trade done.
That's brilliant.
I had him.
That's great. Thank you for sharing it, Stephen.
I had him smoking darts by the end of the night. It was obviously quite casual.
Oh, no, that's wonderful. Very nice story. Thank you very much for sharing that. I wanted to ask you, boys, how's training going at the moment? You know, you're back on the field and it looks pretty intense down there. How is it? Give us a bit of an inside scoop. What's it like?
Well, it's actually a little bit less than previous years because we've started a little bit later and normally we're starting when the grand final's on. This time we actually got to the prelim and was able to get a bit of time off, which was good. So a lot of clubs are doing their intra-clubs today. Carlton have been doing intra-clubs since November. It's been relatively full on, but for us, we haven't really done any match simulation. We're coming into probably, I think we got Collingwood on next Friday, and that'll be probably the first time we actually play a quarter of footy. So it's a different way we're doing it, but usually we're ready to go JLT1, which is pretty stupid when you think about it. You should be ready to go round one. So delaying it by a month, as much as we all want to get out there and tackle each other and play match sim every training session, it's actually not a bad theory that Goody's brought in this year, and hopefully that means we don't go to sleep in the prelim final and we've actually got a little bit more energy because
that'd be good.
We've trained later.
Yeah, very good. What I wanted to allude to there, whilst we're talking about the JLT, you do have your hamstring strain at the moment, not going to be playing that. Your hope is to be available for round one?
Oh, yeah, so it was very minor. I was convinced it wasn't a strain at all. I just thought it was tight. Then we, MRI scans these days can see things from 10 years ago, so you can't get away with much. So I should be okay by JLT1, but just with the cautious approach and the luxury of having extra weeks, I'll play JLT2 and then leading into round one. So I've got a plan in place and the coaches and the fitness staff are all happy with that. So yeah, I'm just doing as I'm told at the moment, as hard as it is.
Great, excellent, good, like it a lot. What's the feel like around at the club? Give us a bit of a vibe on that.
Well, it's. I mean, all 18 clubs right now, I think they can win the flag, which is it's a great position for everyone to be in. You're doing a pre-season. February is actually the time when you probably feel the best in your body. You start getting together as a team. You start working on game plan, and you're training against. It's usually an outnumber at training, so you're usually training like 16 versus 10 in a game drill. So you feel really good about how you move the ball and. We're very positive. Obviously, a bittersweet ending to last year, but if you read the paper today, it did speak about how Goody reacted to that, and it's kept the boys relatively bullish about what they can do this year. And obviously, the last sort of 6 years, we've always had improvement, and improvement again is top 4 this year, and it'll probably mean we won't have to travel to Perth in the third week of finals. It will actually mean we get to dictate our own journey. And
nice.
But unfortunately, I've never been a cliche man, but it has to be, we don't make the finals if we don't beat Port round one. So you've got to take it 1 week at a time. But we do want to play finals footy.
It's all good. I like it. I wanted to just ask you in relation to this. You've got the JLT series. Sunday, March the 3rd, you're travelling to Shepparton, doing a 4:40 p.m. game against Richmond.
I won't be going to that one.
No.
I'll sit that one out.
So, right. So we're going to move right along on that one. Saturday, March the 9th, you're playing Brisbane Lions at Casey Fields, 4:10 p.m.
Yeah.
Any interest in that one?
Yeah, look, you probably need 1 or 2 before you go into round one. So, and I get a good chance to play against the big fella, Steph Martin, and he is a very close mate. So any chance I get to just look after him, would you? Stephen knocked him out. It was a bit of an issue. 6 weeks, was it?
5 weeks with the apology.
Yeah, right.
Nice, well answered. All right.
Actually, when Steve got drafted, I CC'd him on a little Instagram that I put up, and it was Stephen knocking Steph out, and I got them talking. It was good. A little bit awkward still.
Mediator, a bit of an intervention. That's nice. I wanted to allude to the fact that you've got a sponsor which doesn't seem to really fit with the Melbourne Football Club in Jaguar.
Yeah, Google Home. Oh, sorry, Jaguar.
How good's that?
Yeah, Jaguar. Obviously, it fits the Melbourne brand incredibly well.
Does it come with a cheese platter or?
Yeah. But I know nothing about cars, but apparently Jaguar is a very good upper-class, stylish car, and it suits the way the Melbourne brand is. And that's all I can really give you. Apparently, there's V8s, there's 6-cylinder cars, We saw a black one on the weekend.
Saw Tom McDonald interviewing you, and you were right into the colours more than anything, which was good.
But obviously, it's a very good car. But if you're still interested in the South Preston Toyota, that's a great dealership as well. I just always got to look after South Preston Toyota. And what are you? You pay for your car?
No, I've got to give it back to Mercedes-Benz Gold Coast. It's actually the end of the month, so I'm trying to get one of the Jags. Otherwise, I might have to go down to South Preston with Gorney and try and see if I can pluck one.
It'll happen. All right, boys. What I wanted to allude to here, I just wanted to talk about some new rules that have coming in. Over the off-season, I was thinking about it whilst I was on holidays, and I thought, there's some new rules coming in. If we get the opportunity to talk about them, why don't we? I wanted to know if you've been adapting them into training, or whether it's just something that you're going to bring into the season when the season commences, home and away I'm talking about, and then what your thoughts are on it, interpretations and so forth. So the first one I wanted to talk about is kickings. No longer do you need to kick to yourself to play on after a point score, and you also now have 10 metres instead of 5. Is that going to be good for the game, or whatever?
It won't be good for us because we've got Jordan Lewis, Christian Salem, Michael Hibbard all in the goal square fighting. And we kind of need options to kick to. Because Champion Data decided to include it as a stat, you know, those half back flanks who like the stats, they're going to be down there a bit. But it's going to help us clear the ball, you know, to the wing more often than not. It's going to force other teams to set up a zone with almost 3 guys because you can just take off and run. So it's going to be interesting. And like Gorney said, we haven't done much match sim around that. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But I do think it's only going to help, clear the area, if that makes sense.
Okay. Hands in the back. Hands in the back is now allowed, but only where you are protecting the area in a marking contest and provided you don't push. Up for interpretation or a good rule?
I'm not a fan of this segment. I don't. The umpire rule changes they don't bother me too much, and I always say at the start of the year they're going to make no difference, and at the end of the year they've made a fuckload of difference. So, sorry if I say that word to anyone that did it.
It's all right.
Yeah, but hands in the back, it does. You do get annoyed when that gets paid against you, so it's probably handy that it's not there. But
okay. There will be a question in here that you will like. I think it's this one. No longer from a ball up, throw in, or a centre bounce does a ruckman have to abide by the prior opportunity rule.
Yeah, which once again, why would you mess with something that is going well? Ruckman was sort of back in vogue last year with some pretty good standout efforts from Brodie Grundy and Steph Martin and Cal Sinclair, and I can name all 18 because all of them were pretty good. And the ruck craft is such a unique part of our game and a specialist type role. And now people are going to be grabbing it from now on, and it makes no sense not having Clayton Oliver streaming out of the mid-pack and a nice ruck hit. And like, if someone grabs it against me, I'm going to grab it against them next, and all of a sudden it's going to be a yuck game of rugby that we're just going to be grabbing the ball. So I'm not a big fan of that, and I reckon that'll be turned around next year because I reckon it'll be a bad look. Yeah,
good. I know it could be a shit segment, but that's the kind of answers as why this segment's actually in here, just to get that
not
sort
a
of
shit
input.
segment, just not a segment that I like talking about.
The player with the ball can now play on whilst the penalty is being measured out by the umpire. You like that?
It's a great area again.
Yep.
Like, the umpire called you back a lot, get back on the mark, but at least it was clear. And now someone's going to pretend to play on. And then they actually told us the other day at training, they wanted to give a 100-metre penalty away. So you're getting 50, and you can play on at any stage, and you need to be 10 metres lateral both sides. So if he plays on and you're in that protected area, that's another 50. So could you imagine... Someone on centre half back gets a 100-metre penalty, they're kicking from 20. Like, it's going to make the fans angry and the players angry. So I really hope, I know that's a rule, but I really hope they sort of just a bit of common sense in that.
Yeah, good. How frustrating is that to hear that, is it? Oh. All right, goals kicked after the siren can be check side. Snap across the body, but the player must be in direct line with the man on the mark and the goal.
That's a normal rule, isn't it?
Well, it used to be that you weren't allowed to do a check side and you couldn't...
Oh, really?
Yeah, you'd have to be kicking it.
Lucky I didn't get a goal after the siren. I've had a couple of points after this. Oh, no, that was before the siren. Jaden Hunt still missed a 90-metre torpedo that day as well. No one says anything about that.
Shade of that. Let's move on very quickly. Our last one in this segment. Runners are only allowed on the field of play after a goal and before play restarts, and the water carriers are not allowed on the field at all during play.
Yeah, how about let's just not give us water for the whole game? Let's try that one.
Yeah, it's going to cause teams to, rely on having stronger leaders out there and pass on messages through rotations. So now you're going to be seeing coaches on the bench talking to the bench players with a message that you need to go out and tell Gorney, stop trying to do this shit and just put it right back in front. Because, do you know what I mean? Whereas the runner could have come out and just tapped Gorney and said, enough, mate. So that's going to happen, but
that's a pretty common message as well.
So and like I said, like the water one, come on, the water guys are hardly in the way. They do a good job.
All right. I just want to talk very quickly, boys. Give me just a little bit of insight as to where you think these boys will play, the particular type of role, and how they're settling into the club. Number 34, Marty Hall.
Mature age. He's as country as they come. And he's very strict on his views. Like I tried to talk about Married at First Sight. Married at First Sight? Not watching that.
I was rooming with him in Maroochydore and I got a skim latte, right? So light milk. And he's from the country. And he's like, why are you drinking that shit? It's bad for you. Have full cream. It's got... He starts telling me about calcium and all this stuff. And I'm just like, mate, I'm trying to get my skin folds down. I don't care about your calcium intake. So. But... He should play. He should play this year. I think he's been pretty impressive in the pre-season as a rebounding halfback who reads the play really well. Good. So he's been a good pickup, I think.
Okay. Number 32, Tom Sparrow.
Yeah, he's the clone of Jack Viney, which is good news for everyone here. Hopefully got slightly better limbs, but so he can play a little bit more. But he lived with me in his first week. And I thought I'd covered everything for breakfast. I went and got toast, milk, bananas, yogurt, everything possible, eggs, and I opened the fridge to him that morning and he goes, where's the Wheat Bix? And I forgot the Wheat Bix. That kid had 8 Wheat Bix and 7 tablespoons of sugar for breakfast. He had more sugar than Wheat Bix. It was a phenomenal...
7 teaspoons of sugar.
And I thought, as a leader, I should tell him off, but I knew he was meeting the dietitian the next day, and I just said, you have this day, mate. This is the last time. This is your last supper.
You'll learn.
Yeah, you'll learn.
Excellent. Number 27, Aaron Nitsky.
Yeah, he's another backman.
Yes.
Similar to Marty, reads the play well, very quiet, but very modest, and he's a sponge at training. Like he really soaks in a lot of the information. I think he's gonna be a really good player. He's tough.
Yep.
He's just not very confident in himself yet, and he's better than he probably thinks he is. But which is not. You'd rather that than the other way, like Gorney when he got drafted. He wanted to play round one.
Overconfident.
So, he's a ripper, Nita, and he tried to have his nickname as Nita. And that didn't go down too well. And the coaches shut it down pretty quick. That was a funny meeting, wasn't it?
That's nice. Someone come out with their tail between their legs. All right, couple of last ones here, boys. Number 23, James Gordon.
Jimmy. He's actually a really good kick. He's a country boy who boarded a little bit later in his life, similar to Steve. Although you're technically a city boy. Palmerston's 5 minutes out of the city, but... He's a good kid. He's another fortnighter, unfortunately. So we got another big Xbox player, which is it's the last thing we needed. But yeah, he's developing really well. I can see him being in the Melbourne colours for a while, yeah.
Great, excellent. And we'll talk about these two, but I'll go to this one first. Toby Bedford, number 12.
Machine, little. He's very skinny, but he puts on hits. He smashed Cade Chandler at in Maroochydore and sent him to hospital for scans on his ribs from a tackle. Wow. Which is what you want to do if you're in that draft crop, because now you've got it over him because you've sent him to hospital with fractured ribs. Turns out there was nothing there, so that's worse. So now when everyone knows you've left training early to go get scan on your ribs and it's all clear, it's not a great look. But he's fearless. He's a little tackling machine. He's similar to Charlie Spargo in that sense. And applies a lot of pressure. Be fighting for a spot, but he does need to put on a few kilos.
Relatively good success story for the Casey Academy and what we're developing down there. Toby was able to train with us last year, and someone from that area, he's a little bit actually more Frankston way, but to get him in through that sort of academy, it's a plus to everyone that's working down there for Casey, and hopefully we get a few more.
Brilliant. We've already spoken about Braden, but I'll just go to Cade Colajasny. How's he fitting into the club? How's everything going with him?
He's been unreal. You know, everyone at Melbourne are loving him, but he was a totally different person on the coast. He was very introverted and didn't hang out with the boys much away from the field. I just thought that was the type of person he was, but for some reason he always felt like he wasn't wanted or something like that. And, which is a shame because his draft crop, it always happens in your draft crop. Like you sort of hang out with those guys the first few weeks or months. And now since he's moved down...
I've been hanging out with Watsy.
Oh, no. But no, he's moved in with the Wagners and he loves surfing and he's because Gorney didn't know him before, he would just think he's a ripper, but he's actually changed a lot and I'm happy to see him like that.
That's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, can you please put your hands together for that insight given to you both by Stephen May and Max Gorn. Thanks, guys. That was very candid. Really appreciate it. Nice to get that sort of information because we're, as I said before at the start of the show, we're about 35 days before round one even commences, and to get this kind of insight is just brilliant. So thank you once again. I really appreciate it. What I wanted to do now is we want to get some contestants up here to get involved in this segment, but we only want 2 people that reckon they know a bit about the Melbourne Football Club.
Come on, Big Harry.
And we'll introduce the segment as you make your way up. It's called Simply the Best.
You're simply the best.
Just pull up a seat in front of you, boys. All right, who have we got here, Sandy? Obviously, I know Harry.
Chris.
Harry and Chris. All right, welcome to the show, boys. Nice to have you. I'll explain what's about to go on. For the benefit of you, Stephen, what's going to happen here is you're going to be playing on behalf of Chris. So you'll be keeping score. I'll be asking Chris a series of questions, and if he gets one right, you turn over the paddle. And it's as simple as that. Max, you're going to be playing for Harry. Same rules. There we go. What I need you boys to do, though, is when I ask the question, you've got to answer into the microphone with your name. All right? So I need you to test your buzzer.
Chris.
Harry. Chris and Harry. Wonderful. Your buzzers are working. Is there any room for you to sit down there, or are you okay to stand? Whatever suits you. All right. Just don't block my camera shot, Harry. All right. What I need to do here is I'll be asking you 12 questions in total. First one in that buzzes in with the correct answer wins. Here we go. How many premierships has your club won? Chris.
12.
12 is correct. How many times has your team played in a losing grand final? Quick, boys.
Harry.
6. Very close, mate. 5. That's all. Not bad. Who is your team's captain?
Harry.
Chris or Harry? Chris? Harry? Harry. All right, Harry. Who is it?
Jack Viney and Nathan Jones.
Correct, mate. Well done. 1 point. Who wears the number 7 at your club? Harry?
Jack Viney.
Correct. Just speak a little bit louder if you can, Chris, just so I can hear. How many members does your club currently have?
Chris.
Harry?
40,000.
Closest to within 1,000. Do you want to have a go?
43.
It's 35,148 as I took this down on Monday afternoon.
And we're aiming for 60. Come on.
All right, no points there, boys. Where did your team finish on the ladder? Harry.
5th.
Correct, it is 5th at the end of the home and away season last year. How many games did your team win last... Chris.
13.
Harry.
14.
Correct, 14 it is. Bad luck, Chris. What year did your team last win a grand final? Harry?
1964.
Look at that. Maxie fell over, he was that excited. All right, 1964 is correct. Oh! Stay still, Max.
Top end.
Putting the moz on yourself. How many points did you win that grand final by? Harry.
4 points.
You did. 4 points is correct. For 2 points, who was your club's leading goal kicker?
Harry.
Harry?
Tom McDonald.
And for 2 points, how many goals?
53.
2 points. Well done, mate. Beautiful. You don't wear the red and the blue for looks, do you? How many times was David Neitz Melbourne's leading goal kicker?
Harry.
6.
Oh, not actually
Harry.
100% sure on that.
You know
Chris?
nothing.
5.
Other way.
7.
Oh, wow. It was 7, yeah, we'll give you that. That far behind, we got to. All right, this is for 3 points. What are we looking at here, score-wise, boys?
10-2.
10-2. More like a clock score, that one.
Make it a 9
10-2. For 3 points, who was the last Melbourne player to win a Brownlow?
Chris.
For 3 points, I want the year, the person, and how many votes? Harry.
Woden, 2029. I don't know.
You got 2. Chris?
Woden, 2022.
Woden, 2024. All right. It was closer, but I'll give you 2 points and you can have 2 as well. That must make it awfully close, does it? No. But well done. All right, 4 versus 10. Chris, bad luck. Nice effort. You don't go away empty-handed, mate. You get the merchandise pack along with the, that's good for footy beanie. And on top of that, Harry, you get the signed football. All right, so that's all yours. Grab one of those so Sandy to give it to you.
Yeah.
And that's all yours. Well done, mate. Sandy will take that. Thanks, boys. Nice and easy. All right, we want 2 contestants to come up that don't have to do anything but turn over a paddle. Are there any kids in the room who'd like to participate? How easy was that? 2 of them right here. All right, so Matthew, you're going to be playing on behalf of Stephen May, okay? And Cooper, you'll be playing on behalf of MYGNR. I'm going to ask the boys a series of questions. Each time they get one right, you'll turn over the paddle. That's how it'll work. We'll introduce the segment. It's called Knowing Me, Knowing You.
Knowing me, knowing you.
All right, this is good. At the start of the show, I actually got you to put your microphone down so you could do some intent listening.
Yeah, I did.
So we'll see whether you were really had any intent listening from this segment. The way it's going to work is I'll ask a series of questions. There'll be 10 in total. Those questions will be about Stephen May, and you'll have to answer them MYGNR. All right, and you can give the answer. If you don't like it, you don't have to give him the point. Pretty simple.
That's fair.
All right, who'd like to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
All right, Max is going to go first. So the questions are going to be to MYGNR about Stephen May. How old is Stephen May?
Just turned 27.
Correct.
Correct. All right, there's 1 point. Off the mark, Cooper. What is his date of birth, month and year?
I'm going to run with January 10. I knew that before someone called that out. I think it's January 10.
Yes, month and year. So
It's a
month
bit weird,
is right.
but yep.
Yeah. And year?
92.
Beautiful.
Correct.
Excellent. Yeah. All right. Who did he barrack for growing up?
Essendon.
All right. Excellent. What's the one thing he loves about footy the most?
I'm presuming I'm going to run with a nice one, the joy he brings to his family. That has to be right now, doesn't it?
It is, but yeah. I'll just say
gonna
that. That's
pay
a great answer.
He's given it. Scoring all right here, Cooper. All right. That was a very nice move, Max. I like that. Do you know what, if anything, annoys him in life the most at the moment?
Track and pre-season was the answer. I don't think it's actually track, because track can be quite comical as well. So I'm going to run with pre-season.
Yep, Preseason.
Good. Excellent. How many brothers or sisters does he have?
We got there in the end, didn't we?
We did.
4 brothers and 3 sisters, but I don't know if he's the oldest yet. Did we work that out?
Can I get back to you on that? Very nice.
This is a stitch up. Because we went to dinner before and Max just kept asking heaps of questions about it. And he hasn't asked me anything all pre-season, and all of a sudden he wants to know everything about me. It's just, no,
Can I
knew
share
there was something.
I'll share something with you then now that you've brought that one up. We did the show with Jack Rewalt and Jack Higgins, and all the way out, we did the show out in a place called MYGNR, which is out South Marangway, out the other side of the city. And Jack said, I'll come around and pick you up, Jack, and you can come with me. So he drove him all the way out there, and the whole time he's being so intently asking him questions about where did you grow up and all this sort of stuff. And Jack's going, this is really nice. He really cares about me. And when he gets to the show, we introduce the show and we start going through segments. This segment wasn't in there. And Jack Rewalt goes, Damo, what the hell's going on? How come that segment's not in there? So he'd asked him all those questions. They got really good friends and nothing happened. All right. So well done. How many goals has he kicked in his career to date?
Yeah, I don't know that. I'm going to run with a mediocre 11.
Come on. Double that.
Nearly
Give me
double
that
that.
-1.
Yeah. 21. How many games has he played?
100 and... Oh, you said this at the start. 100 and... Oh, when was your 100th? You debuted in 2011 with me, which means you'd be just short of 150. A couple of injuries, about 40 weeks of suspension. 127.
Oh, bam.
So close. 123. Oh, bad luck, mate.
I should have.
I didn't, yeah.
What was his...
Obviously suspended for 44 weeks.
What was his first memory of picking up a footy and playing football?
His mum dropping him off as Auskick at age 4 or 5.
Yeah, excellent. All right. If you had to describe... How's he going there, Cooper? He's nearly got a perfect score. Are you getting... Fingers getting all caught up in the... Yeah? All right. If you had to describe his ideal day, what would it be?
Ah.
Wrong.
Wow. His ideal day would be obviously a day off because he wouldn't want to be at training running. It would involve some sort of fishing. He would be watching Shawshank Redemption at some point. Yeah. Oh, golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, wrong.
Almost. Nah.
No.
Good? No,
I can't accept that.
No,
Can't
good.
Run us through your perfect day.
Perfect day. 8 a.m. tea time. Get up, have a bit of smashed avo. Coffee from your joint.
Geez, you have got
beer
into
to
Melbourne
Jaffel.
quickly, haven't you?
Get down to Royal Melbourne.
Were you playing Royal Melbourne?
Royal
Yeah,
Melbourne.
so-
And then finish that. Have a beer, hopefully, if we're allowed.
Yep.
'Cause the leaders have strict rules, but
Yep.
yeah, hopefully we're allowed one. And not watch Shawshank Redemption on my dream day. Yeah? And then just come home, relax, and go for a fish.
Beautiful.
Oh, I got it fish right.
Not
yeah.
bad. All right. He didn't get it, Cooper, but that was a good answer, and thanks for sharing, Stephen. What we're going to do now, score-wise, what did we finish up with? A total score of 7. Not bad, Max. Congratulations. We're going to flip reverse now. It's all about Stephen. I'm going to be asking you about Max. You're going to be keeping score, all right? You ready, Matthew? Here we go. How old is Max Gawn?
27. Turning 28 this year.
Yep.
Correct. All right. There's his first one. What is his date of birth, month and year?
Second half of the year. 93. Oh, not 91. Sorry.
Very close to you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
January.
Yeah, but I'm in the year above.
January the... Oh, jeez, nah, I'm not going to get that. I have no idea.
December 91. 30th of
that's-
December
yeah, that's right.
91.
Yeah.
All right. No score there, Matthew.
11 days older.
Yeah.
Yeah. Much more mature.
Who did he barrack for growing up?
Who did he bag for?
Must be an interesting one.
I'm just going to go with...
All Blacks.
Yeah, he's from New Zealand, so he wasn't a massive AFL fan. He tried to play rugby union, was no good. Tried cricket as well, was no good. Somehow got drafted, and so he didn't really have a team. And then Melbourne became his favourite team because they gave him a career.
I'll give him that.
All right. There you go. Good score.
Who was it anyway?
Well done.
It was Richmond, but...
Yeah. He doesn't talk about it. What's the one thing he loves about footy the most?
I'll elaborate on that. The thing he loves about football is the opportunities he gets to express himself as a person and not just a robotic AFL footballer.
Or Cashies as well.
Yeah.
South Preston Toyota, Google Home, Mercury Cider.
All of the above. Do you know what, if anything, annoys him in life the most?
He doesn't complain.
No.
He doesn't complain a lot. He's very optimistic. And
Yep.
so if I was going to say something that does annoy him would be if he just say he was to open a wine bar and the restaurant next door decided to change their name to a wine bar and claim that Max Gorm was a part owner in that as well, would probably be the only thing that would annoy him. Otherwise, I'm not
True
sure.
story.
I'm gathering that. Yes. So that would annoy you, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. That's a definite score then, Matthew. All right. Let's go with this. How many brothers or sisters does Max have?
No, he's got one brother that I know.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with 2 brothers.
Well, that's a great guess.
Is it?
It's a good guess. Yeah. All right. Excellent. Got that one, Matthew.
Come on.
Excellent. How many goals has he kicked in his career to date?
Oh, Jesus.
He wasn't a great goal kicker early, so they're going to be coming in the last few
He's
years.
kicked a couple behind.
I'm going to say 52.
Oh man, 51. Brilliant.
Couple of bags of 3.
That's why I threw it in there. I thought it might stand out a little bit more. All right. How many games has he played?
99.
Beautiful. Well done. Excellent. What was
Which
his...
would have, I mean... It's
gonna be a special moment.
If we
Our
did
first
make
game
the granny, it would have
Yeah.
been the 100th in the granny. I had my post-match already. I would have thanked the boys for doing it for me. I would have obviously, instead of going to Crown, I would have brought them all back to the wine bar for my 100. But obviously,
Wasn't to be.
we didn't turn up in Perth, so...
Yeah. All right. What was his first memory of picking up or playing football? I know I didn't ask this question, but what do you reckon it would be?
Take a stab. My first memory of footy.
Probably teasing the kids playing football because he thought he was a tough rugby player, and then tried to kick it and struggled badly, and that's I can't see. I can't see any of that. I don't know that much about you. You don't talk a lot about yourself.
You hearing that? My first footy memory was actually, it was similar to, I was a footy colours day, grade 6. My dad made me wear a Canterbury Crusaders top, and everyone else was wearing either Richmond, Collingwood, Hawthorn, all the popular teams at the time. There was always that one Fremantle Docker as well. And yeah, I got picked on a little bit for wearing that Crusaders top and ended up getting a Richmond top the next day and picked up a footy.
Wow. All right. There you go. If you had to describe Max's ideal day... Oh, we're going to give a point for that?
No, that was
No, we're not. All right. If you had to describe Max's ideal day, what would it be?
his ideal day would be going down to his mum's cafe and help serving coffee all morning. He really enjoys that. And after that, probably going to see his beautiful fiancée and go and look at some wedding venues.
She's not in the perfect day yet. No.
So, but yeah, I'm going to go with morning making coffees with his mum, into South Preston Toyota, get an upgrade on his Hilux, and then dinner with his missus, his fiancée.
I'll give the morning coffee and working with mum. I love alone time on the couch at home. And I love playing little games like the ground's lava and you can't touch the ground, you've got to jump from furniture to furniture. Just recently...
Cooper and Matthew are going, yeah.
Just recently I was stuck at home for about 4 hours and I got 300 tennis racket, just keeping the tennis ball up in a row. 300, which was an impressive skill, I thought. Love taking my dog for walks, but the coffee with mum is right up there as number one, so I think he's right.
All right, we'll give it to him. All right. How we go there score-wise then, boys? 7 versus 6.
Which is pretty good because I didn't say any of it to start.
It's not bad. It's very bloody good, Stephen.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Stephen, on getting at least what you did. Matthew, you're our runner-up, unfortunately, but you get a nice little prize pack. Cooper, you're our winner. Congratulations. Here we go. This is yours, my friend. There's a merchandise pack. There's a beanie to keep your head warm.
Stubby holder.
Oh,
you'll love that.
Put soft drink in that one. That's all for soft drinks. And Cooper, you've got this signed football down here. Congratulations.
Thanks, mate.
Give us your paddles. That'd be great. Well done. Thank you. Do you want to give the boys a high five? Cooper?
Forget about the heartbreaks. every night.